My wife and I, Christina and I are both nurses. We've been married like 6 years or so. I mean, we don't make a killing, but we make pretty good income, and we were just kind of wondering what we're doing with all our money. It seemed like things were tighter than they should have been.
Sure.
And like you guys are always preaching, it's all about being intentional and knowing, kind of having an assignment for every dollar, and like, this is where this is going, this is where this is going, and then the picture becomes a lot clearer, and you can see where there's a lot of waste. So without like totally sacrificing, I mean, the whole thing I liked about your program is it wasn't like sell your car and move in with 10 roommates and save every penny. It was more realistic for what we have as a family. Obviously, we're going to have to spend money. We've worked hard to try to get our income up. So we want to enjoy life, but also not sacrifice future happiness by being selfish or undisciplined in the present. So that's
Yeah.
your messages made sense to me. So then when I talked to Christina, she was like, yeah, I agree, we should do something.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. I think the biggest thing is people think like budget, like when you hear the word budget, it's like, oh, that's really bad. That's like that means you're taking away from myself.
Right.
And it's like you mentioned, like you don't really have to take away. You have to maybe tidy some things up, maybe realign spend with the values and stuff like that. But I think it's all about spending the money that you want to live and live the life that you want to live now and also later, right? What are some things that like you guys realized early on that were like things you wanted to keep and then like things you're like, we can get away from this to kind of like, set ourselves up for the future?
Um, Definitely being more aware of how little things add up. Like Uber Eats was a big thing. A lot of times I'd be like, oh, I don't feel like packing a lunch. It's only 15, 20, $30. And over a month that adds up. And then over a year, it really adds up. And you're like, okay, this is
Did you do
insane.
the math on that by chance? Like know exactly how much you spent?
Um, no, it definitely was much worse when I was single. I mean, I used to Uber eat 2 meals a day minimum, or go out to eat, and
Yeah.
like just living paycheck to paycheck because I'm just spending so much money eating out. And
Yeah.
then we did calculate some of the things because I had cleaned it up a little bit when I was with Christina, just because I wasn't just responsible for myself anymore. So that was a big weight on my shoulders. Like, okay, I need to stop being selfish and just doing whatever I want with my money.
Hmm.
Um, so cleaning up stuff like that, frivolous spending. I mean, one of us is usually off with the kids, so we always are going to the zoo or the aquarium, and we have yearly memberships, so those are kind of prepaid, and we take advantage of them. But then if you're buying a stuffed animal for two kids each time, it's like, okay, that's $40, and like it all adds up, and it's
Sure.
found like most of it was just kind of not paying attention and just not thinking of how quick 10, $15 a year or all adds up.
What
And it
about the
makes
investing side? What kind of adjustments did you guys make from that front?
so I upped my 403b contributions to 15%. Christina is I'm more of the worker. She's more of a saver. I always just say I'll just make more money and then continue doing what I want to do. But
Lots of guys do that.
obviously that's flawed thinking. But and so I think she's got like 250 in her retirement account. Mine's pretty pathetic. It's like 50 right now. So we just bought a house and then we sold our old house. So we're trying to, once we do our taxes, because I got my real estate license too, so I'm sure I'm going to have some taxes owed on that because there's nothing taken out. Um, so I think once we do our taxes, then we'll have probably 70 or 80 grand left in cash to figure out how we want to allocate that. So
Incredible. Are you going to be a real estate pro? Is that what your goal is, or just to get your license?
no, I just I mean, we bought a new build and it seemed they'd pay me 20 grand if I did $1,000 worth of classes. So the math made sense to me.
Made a lot
So
of sense.
um, I'll keep my license. I'll do stuff for friends and family, but I don't think I'm going to be canvassing neighborhoods and knocking on doors trying to get business. It's pretty insanely competitive out here. So
Yeah, yeah, and you guys both are nurses, like you said. You guys are making good money. You guys make plenty of money to live the way you want to live. Would love to see kind of what would you tell somebody that's like a little nervous about fixing their finances. Some maybe even you 6 months ago, right? Before
yeah,
you joined the academy, what was that like? What would that get? What would get you over the hump? Because obviously I'm on Instagram, right? So you're probably there's a little bit of skepticism.
sure.
Be brutally honest here, because I would love to hear from you.
Um, so I'm Christina calls me the dreamer, or just like I'll buy stuff if I think, oh, well, this could work, and oh, it's X amount of dollars. If it doesn't work, then it's whatever. But
Yeah.
she's much more skeptical. But I think the main benefit of the program was opening communications, because we're so different in how we view money and how we were raised. Um, she's always been like a saver, saver, saver. I've been a spender and worry about it later. She's always thinking about the future, and I'm more of a risk taker. Like, if we do this, then we could have a huge payoff type of mentality.
Yep.
Uh, so it just sometimes, I mean, we wouldn't have knockdown drag out fights, but we'd have disagreements, and it's just like, okay, well, let's not talk about finances for a couple of weeks and we're just going to get annoyed with each other.
Hmm.
But this program really has opened up freeing conversations where we're listening to each other more and seeing that there are different ways than she does things and different ways than I do things. And then we're working together to formulate a plan that works best for us as a family and our mentality. So,
Love to hear that. Did Heather play a pretty significant role in that, or was it more so just like talking the community and you guys both being involved for the first time?
I think it was just the commitment to spend the money and join the program. And we're like, okay, we need to make this worth our while and not make this a wasted investment that we don't change anything and revert back to our old ways and it's not beneficial.
Sure.
Heather was definitely, um, it was nice to get kind of a background of why we may behave the way we're doing. And
Hmm.
then that makes it kind of validates the way you're doing things that you didn't really know why you were doing them. And
Yep.
it's like eye-opening. You're like, oh, exactly. She's telling me exactly what my brain thinks. And it's almost like she's a psychic, like, oh, I
It's
know
kind of
what you
it's kind of
think.
wild.
Yeah. So we enjoyed that a lot. And just all the information in the program. I think once you just commit to learning and then realize that certain things you might have been doing right, but there's always ways to do things better. And
Sure.
there are people that know a lot more than I do about this stuff. So if I just listen to them and apply what they tell me, it's not brain surgery. It's kind of a
Right.
paint number program. So if you do what you lay out in the program, it's going to pay off. So
Yeah, I love it. I love that you point that out because a lot of people I think they're afraid to take the leap in general because they're like, this is too much. I've never been taught this. I'm like, guys, most of your jobs are way more difficult than what we're learning over here. It's more so just like understanding it at a textbook level and then applying it to your situation. You'll see a lot more success. It sounds like it's exactly what you guys did.
yeah, yeah,
Love
we've
to
been
hear.
happy and we're still, I mean, I'd say we're still in kind of the infancy stages. We've had some things that came up that kind of slowed down our involvement in the program, but the foundation is still there as far as having a plan for our money, being more aware of what we're spending, or just trying not to be wasteful so it can
Sure.
really pay off.
And the automation with your guys' age and the time you guys have and the automation you guys have already set up, like that's you guys are gonna be more than fine down the road because you've done that now. And it's almost like money, it's your money, but you don't see it anymore. So you lived and you adjusted your lifestyle to exactly how you want to live right now. But you also have that 20, 30 years down the road guaranteed locked in because of what the moves that you guys made. That's super impressive. What would you tell somebody? that's nervous, that's skeptical, like you guys, or like maybe your wife was at one point, right? In the beginning to get them over that hump.
Um, I would just think of to me, the cost, it's just like in the grand scheme of things, like you can spend that on a golf trip or a vacation. I mean, we do that every year. And like
Yeah.
you think about how much benefit is involved in this instead of just the instant gratification of being at the beach for a week.
Hmm.
This is setting you up for something that's much more important and is going to sustain your happiness opposed to just being a fleeting memory. So I would just talk to your partner and pull the trigger and dive in. I mean, the longer you wait, the more you're going to continue to not do the right things, most likely. I know that's how it was with me. It was just like, I need to bite the bullet and just do it.
Hmm. Well, I love everything you said so far, man. Is there anything else we can do to help you guys? Tom's obviously here, Angel's here, I'm here. What, anything holding you guys up to get to the next level? Anything like that?
No, I think now that we've kind of settled in, we've been in the new house about 2 months now. So there's a ton of expenses, obviously, when you first move in, especially
Oh
to a new
yeah.
building. So once we're getting those outliers out of the way, then it's gonna be nice to just stick to the foundations and we'll know where we're going and the roadmap's there. The fact that you have the lifetime access, I think is huge.
Hmm.
For someone like me who had those hiccups, then it's like, well, shit, I didn't really do exactly what I had set out to do. So now I'm like, well, what am I missing? But the
Yep.
fact that they're all still there and still can utilize them on your own. I mean, if I'm just at my work board and it's slow, I'll just pull out the school app and just read through some stuff or read through other people's posts and see what other successful things are working for people. And it might be something that's applicable to us. So
Love it.
it's just continuing learning instead of just learning and then possibly forgetting or not being able to pull up exactly what you wanted to do at the moment.
Yeah, awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, the lifetime access, I really wanted to give you guys that extra access because I knew that people needed it. And I was like, there's more results that are going to come from somebody always being able to refer to it. Obviously, there's an element of pressure of like time, like there's a time period you got to get this done with. But I
Right.
also wanted to add that because I was like, I know you guys need that. So it's good to hear. If I can do anything else, man, always reach out to us. You know where we're at. We're not going to hide from you. But I'm super excited about everything that you've told me, and keep rocking it, man.